Affirmations are really important because they reaffirm. So affirmations are important, especially when you're working with changing your thinking and when you're working with changing your belief system. So the affirmations come into play to really remind you of your greater goals and your greater vision. So it's important to develop these affirmations, especially when we find ourselves in times where we're challenged by fear, by anxiety, by stress. And the nice thing about affirmations is there's something that we can quickly attach to bring us out of whatever we might be in terms of feeling stressed out, feeling depressed, or just feeling, emotionally low. So, affirmations are something that you can really develop specific to you. And that's really how they're going to be the most useful anyway. So it's important to look at affirmations from the perspective of, I'm going to design my affirmations to exactly what I need, because some people need to be affirmed in different ways than others. So step one in developing a really solid set of affirmations that support you is really thinking about the areas that you feel like you need reassurance in and focusing on developing some affirmations, in those areas. For me and how I use affirmations, I have affirmations for specific things, but I probably have a set of about 40 solid affirmations that I rely on when different things come up. So for example, when I am working on manifesting something really big, one of the affirmations that I rely on is that anything is possible. And I know to remind myself of that when I'm starting to doubt. So that's where it's really important to pay attention to your thoughts and feelings when you're in this process, because you want to notice when you need the affirmation. Because when you can notice when you need the affirmation, you can stop yourself from continuing to go deeper and deeper and deeper into that thinking that might be stressful or anxiety causing. So the nice thing is that when you can really have some self-awareness and pay attention to your feelings and your thoughts and notice that you're going in a negative direction, then that can be the signal to say, oh, where's that affirmation to kind of get me back on track? And the way I used that one was through a period of manifesting a very big material goal for me, which is the house that we live in. And it was something that I always had dreamed of. I grew up in the neighborhood that we live in, and the street that we live on now is something that I just thought was, oh, it's so beautiful. Can you imagine getting to live in a place like that? And, the journey to having really deep dreams manifest into reality can sometimes be a long road because you have to believe that it's possible. And so that particular affirmation really supported me through the process of truly believing that dream was possible. So that when there were challenging times and I doubted myself, I kept going back to that solid belief, and I really held on to that affirmation that anything is possible. When it comes to deciding what affirmations are most relevant to you, it's all in how you feel. It's all in how they make you feel. An affirmation isn't really worth anything to you if it doesn't move you or make you feel a way emotionally, and hopefully that way is positive, and it elevates your energy. It brings your energy up. So really the best step in that is paying attention to your feelings, because your feelings are going to guide what type of affirmation you might need. I developed mine based on the stuff that I would continually get caught up with, whether it was anxiety or what other people were thinking about me or whatever the scenario was. I would then, if I ended up finding myself really focused on it or really emotionally connected to it, I would develop an affirmation around it. And if you're not in a position because you're too in the moment emotionally to develop an affirmation around it, other people have probably been challenged by it. So look up affirmations and see if there's something that aligns with it. But it's all about you reading the affirmation and being like, yes. And it's a higher level thought. It's gonna elevate your vibration. It's gonna take your energy higher because that's what you're looking for the affirmation to do anyway. I think the most common mistakes that people make when developing affirmations or integrating affirmations into their practice or just into kind of how they operate is feeling like they have to cover more ground than they really need to, because it's really, again, just about knowing what you need in that moment and having a set of affirmations that you rely on that over time, you also grow with, meaning as you evolve and transform and move forward, the things that are going to continue to elevate you are probably going to change. So it's also recognizing, having some adaptability and flexibility and knowing that developing a set of affirmations is really a living, breathing thing. It's an ongoing thing. So I think that, we're going to have certain affirmations that carry us through our entire lives. But I think that from the standpoint of a day-to-day practice that really, really supports you in where you're at, it's about having adaptability and flexibility and really making sure that those affirmations are having that emotional impact on you, because that's really the point of them. The biggest thing with affirmations, again, is they're there to affirm you during a time of either self-doubt or feeling, again, fear or anxiety or those types of things. So if you don't have the right affirmation in place, it's not going to make much sense anyway. So again, it really goes back to how the affirmation makes you feel. So, for me, telling myself anything is possible, well, that affirmation is really impactful for me because it takes me back to certain times where I achieved stuff that I at one point thought was impossible. So I believe that. And that's the other important thing too, is you have to truly believe your affirmations. So it's fine to, get a set of affirmations from someone who found them effective and might have been able to apply them in their life really well. But what you want to really do is see how they feel on you. Meaning, if you have an affirmation like the one that I just gave, as far as believing that anything is possible, think about how that relates to your specific experience. See how that may have been reflected in your past. And when you do that, what you're doing is you're trying the affirmation on. You're seeing how it fits. And maybe you tweak it a little bit. Maybe it's not anything is possible. Maybe it's, I can achieve anything as long as I'm connected to my higher self. And that's where I think really having that flexibility and freedom and recognizing that it's all about it contributing to you. And so you can change it, you can move it, you can really rework it, and it's going to have an even better effect than if you just kind of take it from the outside, apply it, and then hope it hits something and makes you feel better.